Good evening. My name is Dave, and it's week 6. And this week we have to provide a informative speech. And this week I chose. There were several topics that I chose, but I felt most comfortable going with this particular topic because I think it has influenced American culture, regardless of race, creed, nationality. It's something that we all are familiar with, I'm pretty sure, and I think most of us may even like this. If any of you have watched Disney's The Lion King or Darth Vader, or even for some of you film buffs, The Great White Hope, or maybe some of you have seen the black exploitation film Claudine, you'll know that I'm talking about James Earl Jones. He is an American actor that was born on January 17th, 1931. His career has spanned more than 60 years, and he's been described as one of America's most distinguished and versatile actors, as well as one of the greatest actors in American history. Now, since his Broadway debut in 1957's, James Earl Jones has won many awards, including a Tony Award and a Golden Globe Award. Jones has also won 3 Emmy Awards, including 2 in the same year, which was in 1981. He's earned an Academy Award and the Best Actor in a Leading Role. If you could put your hands together for James Earl Jones, because he's definitely paid his dues in the acting world. So what a lot of people don't know, and this is why I chose this, is because it's about public speaking, and James Earl Jones is known for his superior oratorical skills as well as his acting capability. I say this because he does not actually play the role of Darth Vader in the movie of Star Wars. However, he does perform the voiceover. So the voice that you hear in those movies that plays the role of Darth Vader is actually the voice of, you guessed it, none other than James Earl Jones. And he has mastered the English language to the point where his voice is a household phenomenon. In Disney's Lion King, even though that was a animated movie, the role of Mufasa, parents and children alike understand the love that is portrayed through the voice for a child. So Mufasa is a cultural icon as well. But as I said, first I digress. As I mentioned earlier, James Earl Jones, as a child, he actually stuttered. In his biography, he said he overcame the affliction through poetry, public speaking, and acting. Although it lasted for several years, he was a pre-med major in college, and he went on to serve time in United States Army. I say served time, but what I really mean is he was on active duty during the Korean War before he actually pursued his career in acting. During his childhood, James Earl Jones was born in Arcabula, Mississippi on January 17th, 1931. He was the son of Robert Earl Jones, who was an actor, a boxer, a butler, and a chauffeur, who left the family not long after James Earl was born. And his wife, Ruth Connolly Jones, she was a teacher and a maid. Jones actually reconciled with his father many years later. In his childhood, though, he was raised by his maternal grandparents. They were farmers, John Henry and Maggie Connolly. And both of his parents were African American, but he is said to have Irish and Native American in his ancestry. I think that might be half of the American population. Jones had described his grandmother Maggie as the most racist person he'd ever known. Thus, that forced him to develop his own independent thinking. His grandmother, incidentally, was African American, Cherokee, and Choctaw Indian as well. At the age of 5, Jones moved to his grandparents' farm in Jackson, Michigan. He found the transition to be traumatic and developed a stutter and refused to talk. So this stutter was so severe he didn't speak. When he moved to Brethren, Michigan, another city in Michigan, a teacher helped him overcome his stutter. He remained functionally mute for 8 years, meaning he didn't speak for 8 years until he entered high school. He credits the English teacher Donald Crouch, who discovered he had a gift for writing poetry, with helping him end his silence. Crouch urged him to challenge his disinclination to speak, basically forcing him, hey, you can speak. In his own quote, James Earl Jones said, "I was a stutterer. I couldn't talk. So from my first year of school, that was my first mute year. And then those mute years continued until I got to high school. After being educated at the Browning School for Boys in high school and graduating from the Brethren High School in Brethren, Michigan, Jones attended the University of Michigan, where he was initially a pre-med major. He joined the Reserve Officers Training Corps and excelled. He felt comfortable within the structure of the military environment and enjoyed the camaraderie of his fellow cadets in the Pershing Rifles. Pause right there. The Pershing Rifles was also the group that the famous general, African American general, was a member of. So James Earl Jones was a member of the Pershing Rifles drill team and the Scabbard and Blade Honor Society. So during the course of his studies, Jones discovered he was not cut to be a doctor. He wasn't cut out to do that job. So instead, he focused on the drama at the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater, and Dance, with the thought of one day, or doing something that he enjoyed. And this he wanted to do before he assumed he would be sent off to fight in the Korean War. So after 4 years of college, Jones graduated from the university in 1955 with his degree. As the war intensified in Korea, Jones fully expected to deploy, and as soon as he received his commission as a second lieutenant. As he waited for his orders, he worked as a part-time stage crew hand at the Ramsdale Theater in Manistee, Michigan, where he had earlier performed. Jones was commissioned in mid-1953 and reported to Fort Benning, Georgia, to attend the Infantry Officers Basic Course. He then attended the Ranger School and received his Ranger tab. Little known fact. Although he stated during an interview on the BBC's The One Show, screened on November 11, 2009, he washed out of Ranger training. So it's kind of up in the air. It's a dispute if he made it through Ranger School or if he didn't. He was initially to report to Fort Lindenwood, but his unit was instead sent to establish a cold weather training command at the former Camp Hale near Leadville, Colorado. His battalion became a training unit in the rugged terrain of the Rocky Mountains. Jones was eventually promoted to first lieutenant prior to his discharge. After he was discharged, he moved to New York, where he studied at the American Theater Wing, and he worked as a janitor to support himself. Well, there you have it. That's the informational speech from me this week. Thank you.